This is an interesting story. I was on a television talk show with H. Ross Perot. At the time he was talking about banking and financing. Somehow I got to be on the show representing television and investment in television and so on. Why they picked me, I don't know, but I'm on with H. Ross Perot. And he's talking about banking and managers and so on. And I just didn't like the tone of his voice. It was very uppity, you know, as we say. So I said, I'd like to tell you a story about bankers. I said, when my grandfather, who came over from the Ukraine and started in Winnipeg, Canada with a pushcart, and eventually he and his other friend who had a pushcart were made partners. They sold the two pushcarts, bought a horse and a wagon, and were in business. Got a little roadside stand, and then they did a little bit, and it came time for them where they wanted to have a building because business was really booming. So he went to the bank, and the bank was named Alloway and Champlain. I still remember the name of it. And he met the manager. Now, my grandfather didn't speak the language too well, but he went there, and his name was Rusin, and the bank manager said, "Oh, Mr. Rusin," he says, "you want a $5,000 loan to start with this building. What have you got for collateral?" And my grandfather said, "What means it collateral? What you talking collateral?" Collateral, he said, "Well, you have to have some asset that if you've defaulted a loan, we can take it." He said, "I tell you, Mr. Bank Manager, what I got from the collateral, what I know up here and what I tell you from here." And the bank manager said, "That's good enough for me." That was a story for Mr. H. Perot that I told him because I wanted him to know the way it was done in those days. And do you know how they sealed the argument? My grandfather, in his hand, took the bank managers, and they did this. That was the contract. And they lived up to that contract. That's the way they did business.